The Gospel of John, chapter 7, tells us that Jesus was preaching to a group of people in the temple when suddenly the scribes and Pharisees burst in with an angry mob and presented a woman who had been caught in adultery. They wanted Jesus to confirm Moses' judgment that such women should be stoned to death. Jesus looks at them and looks at the frightened woman with compassion. Without saying a word, he bends down and writes with her finger in the dust of the temple floor, just as God wrote the law on the stone tables on Mount Sinai. Jesus writes an enigmatic sentence that all those present understand from a distance. John says that after a while the accusers began to leave the group, first the older ones, then the rest. The main commandment of the law is, "You shall love God above all things." And if it were really fulfilled, there would be no need for other commandments. God, knowing human nature, had to give 9 more commandments to stop human immorality. The most serious crime committed since the beginning of mankind was the murder of Abel by his brother Cain. For when a person steals or lies or commits sexual immorality, he harms others, but killing takes everything that a person has, his body. And with this action, we not only steal the future of that being, but we also rob God of the plan he had for that person. God is the only one who has the power to give and take life, and this crazy humanity has even killed God in the form of Jesus, who paradoxically gave us life. Can there be a greater crime? Throughout history, wars have cost millions of casualties. In some cases, people have been exterminated like nothing. In what we sweeten call abortion, the number rises to millions and increases every year. Crimes are generally encouraged by the 5 demons of hatred, jealousy, greed, anger, and envy, which produce statistics of nearly 500,000 murders every year. Other individuals, in an unthinkable way, kill for simple pleasure. Medical science still doesn't understand what force or agent drives them to this evil. The word that Jesus wrote on the floor probably was, "You shall not kill," in full view of everyone present. It was transferred from the dust of the earth as an arrow into the hearts of the accusers, so that they could clearly see what were their real reasons for stoning the woman, and they saw that their intentions were not so legitimate, and that the law of Moses was used in this case as a mere pretext to unleash their evil on the defenseless woman. Their apparent righteousness betrayed dark emotions that proved their own wickedness. This woman was a simple scapegoat to wash and disguise their own corrupt morality, the killer instinct inherited from the time of Cain. Since Abel's death, hundreds of millions of people have been exterminated. Not even 1 square meter of this planet, the silent stage of these atrocities, is free from bloodshed. We cannot destroy what the Lord has made. Jesus, from the holy ground of the temple, denouncing and remembering the violation of perhaps the most sacred commandment. In Psalm 51, David says of this deadly shadow in the human heart, "I was born in iniquity, and my mother conceived me in sin. You desire truth in your inmost being, and in secret you will teach me wisdom. Purify me with hyssop, and I will be clean. Wash me, and I will be whiter than snow." Also in John chapter 8, verse 44, Jesus identifies the root of the problem. You belong to your father the devil, and you want to do your father's wishes. He was a murderer from the beginning and didn't abide in the truth, because there is no truth in him. The parable of the tares also points to the devil as the source of evil when he sows tares, his children, in the field of the world, along with God's seed. The devil has the ability to seduce us into all kinds of sins. It was Satan who entered the heart of Judas and encouraged him to betray him. It was Satan who aroused the criminal instincts in the Jewish people, who not only killed Jesus on the cross, but also mocked him and rejoiced in his torture. Satan demands sacrifices, and his favorites the innocent victims. But man has the capacity to evade this influence and expel him from his life. That is what Jesus taught in his ministry. In Proverbs, Solomon comments on those who have given themselves to the devil in body and soul. For they don't sleep when they do evil, nor do they lose sleep when they have caused someone to fall. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. But the way of the righteous is like the light of the dawn, which increases in brightness until it's full day. Of murders, not counting wars, the most abominable sin for the Father is the shedding of the blood of the innocent. And just as that mob cried out for the sacrifice of that woman, today we see something similar. A large crowd, indifferent to the sacrifice of the little ones, and like Pilate, they wash their hands. God continues patiently to write his commandments not only on stone or dust, but on the hearts of men. And in the temple courts, the eyes, minds, and hearts of the accusers were opened, and for a moment they felt the weight of their own hypocrisy and sin. Jesus was taken up and saw no one but the woman. He said to her, "Woman, where are those who were accusing you? Has no one condemned you?" She said, "No one, Lord." Jesus said to her, "I don't accuse you either. Go away and sin no more."